Hello, everybody, and welcome to Out of the Box. This is episode 14, and I am with Karen McAtee. And Karen, I know what you're thinking. It's about time you had me on your little program. You did Pastor Jay, Barb, and it's about time, right? Yeah, I interviewed COVID before I interviewed you, so.
That's all right, Joe. I forgive you.
All right, so we are with Karen. Before we get to why we're with Karen, and we're going to talk about everything going on at Godfrey. First, it's time for What's Up, Gafunk. Take it away.
That's all I know.
Yeah. So here's everything going on at Godfrey First. I don't really know what's going on at Godfrey First.
Well, you got the kids thing.
Oh yeah, this Sunday. Thank you, Karen. See, it's Back to School Sunday. We're going to have a Back to School Blessing Sunday, August 14th, for all students and staff. And I included Parents Sunday in that because, yeah, parents need, we just took Mackenzie back Saturday. So, yeah, parents need some back to school prayers as well. So we are going to do all that. We are also collecting back to school supplies for students that need it. There are backpacks in the church, in the back of the church. So if you want to grab one of those, there's a piece of paper in the front pocket that lets you know what you should put in there, and just pack it up and bring that in by the 28th of the month. So if you haven't gotten one already, do that. If you don't want to take the backpack and do that, just donate some school supplies. You know what kids use: notebooks, pencils, erasers. I don't think they use pens very much. So don't. Yeah. So number 2 pencils, of course, erasers, notebooks, loose leaf paper, glue. There were scissors, kid scissors.
And Kleenex.
Yeah, so that's not on the list because we don't put those in the backpacks, but they're I know they're on the teacher's list. So if you want to donate, that's a good idea. We should probably mention that a little more often. The Clorox wipes, tissues, things like that. Teachers run out of those by the semester.
Yeah, they do.
They get all these stuff at the beginning of the semester, and then they use it. And then in the winter time, when you come back from Christmas break, it's cold and flu season, and they're out of it. So if you want to donate those things, I'm sure they will take those as well. Also this month, Change for Change is going to Lewis and Clark Elementary in Godfrey for the social worker, principal, or whoever that handles student care outside the teachers to use at their discretion for whatever needs. It doesn't go for school supplies. It'll go for shoes or jackets or something like that if students need those. So Change for Change this month is going for that. If you don't want to just put loose change in there, of course, you can write out a check to Godfrey First. Just put in the memo line, Change for Change, and it'll get there. Karen will make sure it gets there. That's what we're going to talk to Karen about today. There's also the United Methodist Women's Salad Bonanza on September 14th. We still have just over a month before that, but I want everybody to make sure you are aware of that and get it on your calendar. If you are interested in participating in that, you can see Laura Van Dieven, Carolyn West, you know who the Methodist women are. You can find one of them and get signed up for that. Do you go to that?
No,
the Salad Bonanza?
No.
I haven't either.
I'm usually working that day.
I don't eat green food. Usually, yeah.
You don't?
No. Yeah, there's people, shocker. So yeah, if it's green, Joe tends to not touch it. So yeah. Anyway, maybe if they had fruit salad, I'd be there. I love fruit. Oh man. Anyway, all right. I'm trying to think of what else is going on. We've had the widows thing is today, actually, because it's Wednesday, so people aren't going to know about that. It's going to be over. Domino's they just had last week.
Yeah, last Friday.
I think that's it. A couple other quick things, just so you are all aware of. We are having tonight a music committee meeting to discuss the music program at church, what we want it to look like. COVID killed music all around the world, and it's slowly making a comeback in all different forms. And I know there's still many music organizations fighting COVID within their groups, their bands, their choruses, whatever. So, our choir, I mean, when that happened, that's just how it happens. So We are having a meeting tonight to discuss what music is going to look like. If you have any feedback or input you'd like to give me on that, put it in the comments below. We're also having our hopefully, final planning meeting for the final phase of Extreme Church Makeover. I'll be happy when that project is over, but it's the biggest part of the project. We're doing our stained glass window, carpet for the stage, painting of the front, which is technically the back wall because we face the back of the church. That is weird. But so that's tonight as well. So if you have any feedback on that, you can let me know. But we're going to do what we're going to do. So anyway, that's what's up, Gefunk. We are with Karen McAtee, and I am going to first tell everybody what you do at Godfrey First.
Okay, I'm the comptroller. I take in the offerings, I pay bills, I do the payroll reports. We do have the payroll done by a CPA, but the payroll reports have to be done. That's about it.
That's about it. How long have you been doing that for us?
7 years.
7 years. Wow, 7 years already.
Yeah, 2015, I retired from the banking industry in 2015 and started at the church that August.
Very cool. So Karen is a very, very busy person. We are at Glazebrook Park, and I chose this for a reason because Karen serves on the Godfrey Village Board.
Yes.
And I want you to just talk about your experience with that, what you liked about it. Don't say what you don't like because...
No, I wouldn't do that.
So what's been some positives about that and when your term ends and all that kind of stuff? Just talk about that for a second.
Well, my term ends, this was my second term, and this term ends in 2023. The board is very, very important, and it's important to have people on there with a variety of skills. I think all age groups should be on the board, and I think all skills should be on the board. We make important decisions. Sometimes the decisions aren't liked by everybody, but that's part of how a board works, and that's how things get done. And sometimes that's things don't get done. But everything that you see that happens at the parks or at the village hall is determined by the board.
So I think anybody that's ever served on any kind of board anywhere can confirm that that's kind of how boards work. You know, this Extreme Church Makeover started about a year ago, and
it's a good example.
My dream at the time was to have everything done by Christmas, and here we are in August, and we're still now preparing for the final stage. So it gets tough, and yeah, we had COVID and a lot of opinions and scheduling conflicts and stuff get in the way. COVID has hurt, as you all know, with distribution of things and schedules for a lot of people. So, all right, so what else do you do besides the village board? We were talking beforehand, you're on a couple different library boards.
Yes, I'm on the Hainer Library Board, and I'm also on the Jenny D Library Board. The Jenny D Library Board determines, it was set up by Jenny D's mom and dad many, many, many years ago. And it's a board that I'm just a liaison on.
So what brought you to Godfrey? There's a connection. Let's see, Karen McAtee. That name may ring a bell. What was your connection to Godfrey First?
Jason.
Most of you know Jason McAtee, our former music and worship director.
My wonderful grandson.
Karen's grandson. And yeah, Jason was just in last week working on our new soundboard for us. So it's good to see him.
Very talented.
Very talented. So Karen came from him, and you were in the banking industry, you said, for how long?
53 years.
53 years. Holy, that's how old I am. Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. 1963, I started at Germania Savings and Loan.
Oh, Germania downtown.
Yes.
Yeah, it's now a coffee house.
Yes.
You weren't in that old brick,
No.
right? That the coffee house is in now.
No.
You were in the big.
I was in the bigger
that
one,
the
yes.
school board
Yeah.
office is in.
Yeah.
And
I used to ride the
think Head
bus
Start.
from Wood River. I lived in Wood River then. So.
Wow. So you've been with us for 7 years, and now, if I think this is correct, you're in the membership class.
Yes, I am.
Is that right?
Yes.
So what kind, I mean, United Methodist is a great denomination. What kind of lesser denomination were you part of before you decided to become?
Smack him. Go ahead and smack him.
Well, I don't know if it was lesser, it was different.
I'm just, yeah, I'm teasing.
I was a Catholic.
Okay, so, yeah, maybe it wasn't. No, I'm just kidding. And now we have a lawnmower that we have to,
I know. I thought he was coming this way at first.
yeah, that would have been bad. So we hope you can hear okay. This is how things work in my little world.
I understand that.
I bought new microphones. You saw them in use last week with Arnie and Iris, although they weren't connected properly, so you couldn't hear them very well. So now I get out here and everything is set, and I had the adapter last week, but I don't know where the adapter is. So yeah, see if it's in that little bag again, that plastic bag. We may have to start over if it's in there. It's a little white adapter. Do you see a little white adapter?
No.
No, it's not in there, so we just gotta yell. So where are we? So you're in the banking for 53 years. You decided to do this. So what I want to talk about mainly with you today is about our church budget, where we stand, how the numbers look, because every time we have a staff meeting or a church council meeting, you and Tom Brummett, Tom is our chair, our finance
Yes.
chair. You guys like have hives or something like that when we talk about when we talk about the budget. So we currently have a loan on the building,
Yes, we do.
and it's pretty significant. And we are we pay our monthly
Yes.
stuff every month, our mortgage. It's a mortgage payment, right?
Yes, mortgage payment.
And during COVID, what did the banks do for us to help out with that? They
The banks reduced us to interest only.
interest only, which was
And
very
then we
cool.
got what was called 2 PPP loans, and those were forgiven. So those were $33,000 each twice. And that took care of certain expenses. You couldn't spend it on everything, but you could spend it on payroll, on utilities, and so that helped reduce. That made our budget look a lot better last
Right.
year.
Right, but now we don't have those things.
No.
We're paying back principal and interest.
Yeah.
We're not paying those loans, but we don't have that money in there. So first of all, how is giving overall? Not just the general giving, but when we have special projects like the Ignite Patrons or the Extreme Church Makeover or back to school stuff or whatever, giving I think is pretty good
Yes, it is.
overall, right?
Yes.
But the general giving, the bill paying part of it, struggling just a little bit.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
All I can say about that is that offerings are pretty steady. Some people give quarterly, some people give annually, some people give weekly. We have a lot of parishioners that are very, very constant with their giving. Jay and Barb and I were privileged to go to a finance seminar
I love that.
in Trenton, Illinois
Privilege
last
is an
week.
interesting word.
And we learned that offerings are down everywhere in
Yeah.
all churches. And that's because the people that are the baby boomers and older, they had they knew they were supposed to give to their church, and they usually gave a certain percentage of their income. That doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
So when the older people, something happens to them in the church, well, then you lose that part. The young people tend to give to the animal shelters and to different things, not their church.
And that's not new though.
No,
That's the way it's been forever. That the older generations of your church give more to the church than younger ones.
well, I think,
Because I think my parents now give more to the church than they did when I was a kid.
well,
because
because they're retired now and
Yeah.
able to, yes.
Right. And they're not paying for soccer and band and
Yeah.
all that other kind of stuff that
Yeah.
you have. So so most of our giving, general giving, will come from the older members of our congregation, right?
Yes, yes. The steady ones. And what I want to say about that is that there seemed to be some, back before the baby boomers even, parents built that into their children, what they were supposed to do. And I don't think that happens so much today. I think that's gone away.
Well, I think what's happening is they're still being taught to give, but they're not being told to not give to the church, but church overall, attendance, participation, belief, faith, everything is down
Yes.
quite a bit. So I think it's still a very generous group. The millennials or younger or whatever, they're not participating in church anymore.
Yes.
So that's where, or if they are, a lot of them are online, or they're intermittent goer or attendees or whatever. So we don't currently have an online option of giving, do we?
No, not that kind of an online option. That has to be set up with the bank and with our system, our Shepherd staff that we have. But we do have what's called, you can pay through your bill pay. We get a lot of that. And we also have what's called an ACH, which means that you tell us your bank account number and your routing number, and you tell us that on the 15th and the 30th you want
And
this
your
amount
mother's
of money.
maiden name.
And your social security number. But then we can that just automatically comes out of your account, either on the 15th or the 30th. And we have a lot of those participants too. So that has grown over the last 2 years. That's grown 90%.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, we've got, that's turned into a lot. So, an easy way to do it.
Well, I've started doing, when I remember, I still forget quite a bit, but when I remember, I do. But we're part of that. I'll be clear with, or transparent with the audience here. We don't give to the general fund regularly. Well, you know this because you look at all the stuff. But we're giving to Ignite and GPS all the time. We make donations to like the church makeover fund and to back to school. We do stuff like that, but we're guilty of not giving to the general fund as well. I don't know why. It's easier, I guess. When you have, it's hard to remember that there are actual bills that need to be paid, I think. But hey, the kids need new pencils and stuff. Oh, absolutely, here you go. And so I don't want the message to get across that giving is down, because at the beginning, giving is there. We have it.
Yes.
It's just not being designated to where it needs to be. And so this is me being honest with y'all that I need to improve in that as well. Don't smirk at me like that, Karen. The other thing I meant to say at the very beginning, pastors hate talking about this.
Yes.
They absolutely hate it because there's this stigma out there that pastors are only looking for money. So we've talked to Jay about it, and Jay's like, I know I got to, but he hates doing it. So that's why we're going to do it. So we'll take it off of him. The general fund, y'all, we need to give to it. And I know there's a lot of you out there, because this is going on all throughout the denomination. You're afraid to give, or you're hesitant to give to the United Methodist Church because of what's going on within the United Methodist Church. Right?
Yes.
You've heard about that, right?
Yes.
So that's why the other giving is still steady for the special projects, because they know it's not going to the United Methodist Church, it's going to that project. But y'all, we still got bills to pay. If we don't get that general giving up, then we're not going to have a building to worship in. We're not going to have lights on when we go. The air conditioning won't be. We got to have the air conditioning.
Oh yeah.
Good lands, it was hot in there again. So. Oh my! Got to have air conditioning. The heat can go out. I'd rather it be cold in there in the wintertime.
Leave
But
the clothes on.
yeah, that's right. We can all bundle up in blankets and worship, but you can only take so much off,
Yeah.
right? So things like that. We're fortunate that our lawn care is done. We have a lot done by volunteers with the trustees. Bob Weaver does quite a bit as the chair of trustees. Don Basil seems to be there all the time.
And
Craig Davison is there all the time.
Gary.
Gary Greenwood, thank you. I can picture him, and I can picture him out weeding and doing all this. His name just, so Gary Greenwood, and there are many others. We probably shouldn't have started naming names, but there are many, many others that are up there all the time, volunteering their time and effort, so we don't have to pay for that stuff, which is always helpful. But so yeah, we have to give. Now, another thing, most of that money that you give to general fund, or your offering, goes to our church. There's a portion of it that is supposed to go to the United Methodist Church,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And you all see the smirk. It's not being done right now.
No, not to the fullest, no.
No, so we are supposed to pay apportionments back to the conference to go for conference expenses and all, and they count on that. But we are, like many United Methodist churches right now, I don't want to think we're on this island by ourselves, but there are many United Methodist churches that are behind in their apportionments or refusing to pay them, or, oh, here comes our lawn mowing friend. Oh, he's going to come right around here, I think. They're either behind or refuse to do it or whatever because of what's going on in the Methodist church. We intend to do it, but we are behind in that. But you got to know that most of the money that we give in our offering is going to our church and our expenses and all that kind of stuff.
Last year we gave 10% to them,
Right.
and they look for about 40%.
Well, is it really that high?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, if we would have a special, hey, we're going to pay the electric bill project, I'm sure that'll be done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just know that your offering is important, your giving is important to special projects, to the general fund, to everything going on. We got to make sure that the life of the church continues.
Yes.
And if you don't like the way some of the money is being spent, Pastor Jay has a leadership role for you. Sure. You can be part of church council. You can serve on the finance team. You know, all kinds of things. What's our time on there right now?
21.
21. Because I forgot, we didn't play our game.
Oh, whoa. Can't forget that.
We can't forget that. We should have done that first. It always comes after what's up the phone. All right. So, this is very well planned and thought out. We're going to take questions from this page. Have you done something you worry could come back to haunt you? Hey,
Absolutely.
you all saw me flipping through. That was a random thing.
Absolutely.
Oh, now it says what? Do you want to share or would you rather not?
Well, there's a lot of them. Oh dear. I don't know whether I want to share.
We won't put, yeah,
No.
we won't put you on the. Have you ever danced in the rain?
No, I have not.
Really? You know, I don't know if I've ever danced. I've definitely played in the rain.
Yeah, I played in the rain, and I've been in the rain a lot of times, but no, I haven't. I have to do that.
That's so weird that as a kid, I couldn't wait for it to rain. I would go out. I mean, no thunderstorms, of course, but
Yeah.
rain. You'd play in the mud. We had, I don't know what you call it, but the water drainage that's outside along the curb.
Yeah.
Right? So in front of our house, that would always pool up like it always does. And we would go out with the rocks and build little dams and watch stuff go.
Stop your feet in it.
Yeah, we did that all the time. Now we run as fast as we can from the car inside because we don't, or we park in the garage or something because we don't want to get wet. But then we'll stand in the shower for 20 minutes,
Yeah.
just go out in the rain. Honey, we're going to go out in the rain next time.
And dance.
All right.
We need to
Dance.
dance.
We will. I
All right.
don't know about the dance part, but
We'll dance.
we will go out in the rain for sure. Who or what challenges you? Now, besides us getting our bills together right and that kind of stuff, getting our Visa bills to balance out, who or what challenges you?
Well, it used to be my husband. What challenges me?
Oh, it's always
Golly.
the spouse. It's always the husband's fault.
Yeah, well, no, but I mean, that kept me going. I mean, that
Yeah.
made me do things I probably wouldn't have ever done. I changed jobs one time because he encouraged, I said, I don't need to, and I don't want to go be interviewed.
So since you brought him up, Frank,
Mhm.
Frank was Karen's husband. When did he pass away?
A year and a half ago.
A year and a half ago. Frank was a great guy. He didn't say much around me. I didn't know him well, but he didn't say much around me. But when he did, it was usually pretty funny.
Yeah, yeah. Whenever he talked, it was funny.
It was pretty funny. Yeah.
That's what people remember about him.
But you remember the challenges. You don't get to answer this question, Sue. All right. Okay, this is morbid, but we're going to ask anyway. If you were on death row, what would be your last meal?
Chicken strips.
From where? Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, probably Moonlight.
Yeah, that's not a bad play. That's pretty good. Yeah. Have you had Round Table's chicken strips?
No, I have
They're
not.
homemade?
No.
They're really good too.
No.
Yeah, the problem with Round Table, and I'm not going to bash them too much because I love them and I get them all the time.
Oh, we do too. We love.
But
Round Table.
they serve them on a lettuce leaf, which is, I mean, it's decoration, but it's also got a lot of moisture. So then the chicken
Yeah?
strip gets
It's soggy.
soggy. The bottom gets soggy.
Oh, I wouldn't like that.
So yeah, always order it without the lettuce leaf.
Okay. Thank you.
If you were going to speak to a group of graduating teenagers, what would be the topic?
Get a job.
Get a job. Yeah, or not just for the financial part of it,
No.
which is your background, obviously, but the
Experience.
the experience and
The responsibility.
that's the word I couldn't think of.
Yeah.
Responsibility
Yeah.
of it. Yeah. If you don't get a job, get involved in something
Yes.
that volunteer or do something. Do you like hot or cold food better?
Cold.
Cold food?
Mhm.
What's your favorite cold food?
Pasta salad.
Wait, so do you like hot food that turns cold? So
Yeah,
like when you
yeah,
eat leftovers,
yeah.
do you
Pizza?
eat it cold?
Like
Ugh.
pizza?
Sue
Oh, you
does
don't like
that
cold
too.
Yes.
pizza?
No, I don't do that. No.
Okay.
If it's supposed to be hot,
You like
it's
it.
hot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fried
No, I'm
chicken.
not like that, so.
Yeah, she eats cold fried chicken too.
Yeah, I do too.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's awful. Okay, let's find one more that's good and then we'll wrap up.
Okay.
What's the most beneficial Chinese proverb? No, we won't.
No, Joe.
All right, this is a good wrap-up question. What is a personality trait you like about yourself?
I have a motto.
Would you like to share?
Yeah. Do unto others that you would have them do unto you. I've had that my whole career,
Yep,
and it's worked.
and we tend to forget that. Yeah. Yeah, as we're yelling at the guy that cuts us off or
Yeah.
doing whatever.
Yeah.
I've cut people. Have you ever cut somebody off
Yeah.
while driving?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
God, I just wave, and
Yeah.
they're usually doing something else.
I don't know how many times like, my bad, but then somebody does it.
Now, I never get mad at anybody on the highway. That's another one of my rules.
Oh, really?
Really.
Well,
I
you are a
tried.
saint.
I tried just to ignore it because they might have been thinking about something else. Or like me, when I cut in front of somebody, I didn't really mean to. It just happened.
Karen, isn't she so sweet?
Oh,
All right, before we wrap up, is there anything else you want to add? Anything that you thought, hey, I really want to talk about this with Joe and the people?
I really feel like I found a home at Godfrey First. I really enjoy all the parishioners. I enjoy the staff. I enjoy coming to work.
That's awesome. We love having you part of
Thank
our
you.
family.
Thank you.
So that's Out of the Box, episode 14. Thank you again, Karen, for joining me.
You're
If you have
welcome,
any questions about anything that Karen does, or you want to talk about Jason or Jake or how many?
And that's usually what people do to me. Oh, you're Jason's grandma?
Get that whole- yeah. How many grandkids do you have?
16 grandkids and
16? 1-6?
6, and then 11 great-grandchildren.
Oh my goodness.
But we have a combined family, remember?
Right, okay.
So 6 children produced all that.
Good grief. How do you have time to work?
Well, sometimes that's difficult. But I always say, I'm sorry, I've got to go into work.
That's great. Well, thank you, Grandma Karen,
You're welcome.
for having us out here. That's Out of the Box, episode 14. Thank you again for joining us. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Renee White for giving us a shout out Sunday and talking about how much Out of the Box means to her and the importance of it and how awesome it is.
Oh, that's
Made me blush. a little bit. So thank you, Renee, for that. That's all we got. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Blessings.